Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a very highly requested and exciting video. Today we're going to be doing a review and a restyle of the new Silkstone Barbie modern art. I have wanted this Barbie fashion for quite some time, so whenever it was released that they were releasing the Silkstone, I knew I had to get her just for the fashion alone because I still don't own that original fashion, and every time that I've come across it, it is almost like decaying in a way, to a point where I would be honestly a little bit afraid to use it on my Barbies. So to have an example that is new and fresh and still from Mattel, it's almost like a dream come true. And then also it includes a Barbie, so why not get it, right? Especially since it's a lot cheaper than buying a really good condition, like minty fresh vintage outfit. And this way you get like a doll with it. So I think that that's a pretty good deal in my opinion.
Are you sure?
Now, when her official photos were released, I was a little bit stunned because she was supposed to be a side part, and I could tell by looking at her that she was supposed to be a side part, but her hair was not giving that. It was giving something like Endora from Bewitched.
Which is which, am I right?
It wasn't giving me an authentic side part bubble, but the box art is giving more authentic side part bubble. And in my opinion, this is what you get, Mattel, for firing your Barbie historian. When you have a brand that is really old, it is important to have a historian on staff, one who can familiarize themselves with an original piece compared to what you can do in today's production, so to speak. Like, the reason why we can't get like authentic looking Barbies is because like they're not really made that way anymore. So you have to engineer in a new way to try to find how to get that old original feel. Plus, I hate to say it, but a lot of collectors are not really that good at figuring out what's original and what's reproduction as it is. So I could only imagine how difficult it would be for some collectors if they got something made from the authentic original molds compared to if they got something that is easily distinguishable between a vintage piece, if that makes sense.
Yes, and also no.
So when purchasing a reproduction, I know that there's going to be a lot of differences, but I also know that the main goal is to reproduce something that looks to be original. So today I'm going to use all of my knowledge about original Barbie to figure out if this is a good reproduction or not, in my opinion. It's kind of funny because my doll arrived in an open box. Now, I have not opened this doll yet. This is how she arrived on my doorstep. And there seems to be like a little bit of a loose piece in here, so I really hope this Barbie isn't damaged in any way, but I guess we'll see. I'm really excited to see her. I know that the hair is a hot mess. Whenever people have been posting their doll pictures, I'm like,
It is so hateful.
so if you're interested to see like how you can style this doll's hair, then go ahead and continue watching the video. Okay, so this is my first time buying a Silkstone from Mattel Creations recently. So this is exciting for me. So it's all wrapped up in tissue paper, as it should be. Oh, that's pretty. And there's a beautiful picture of the modern art Barbie, prototype. I don't know why they just didn't go with these prototype pictures, because you can kind of tell that Bill Greening had his hand in these pictures compared to the pictures that they actually released. So on the back of this box, it says, paying tribute to Barbie doll's first time as a working artist in her long resume of careers. Modern Art Barbie features replicas of Barbie dolls' vintage fashion and artwork. Barbie makes an eloquent statement in a dainty floral dress with a frothy green organza overlay. Her short gown features a wide collar with a fitted bodice, large bow that ties in the back of her full skirt. Featuring a side part bubble cut, Barbie doll's Titian hair embraces iconic 1960s voluminous hairstyles. Barbie completes her poetic ensemble with matching green closed-toe heels and pearl earrings. Accompanied by her framed landscape painting, signed by Barbie herself, and an art gallery program, the set honors and celebrates Barbie doll's artistic achievements. This modern art Barbie doll features a silkstone body and a vintage sculpt. How exciting, right?
No.
Something that you may not know is that I am an artist, and when I saw this reproduction come up online, I was like, I have to have it. It's Barbie's first career as an artist, and it's also a gown that I just really loved. I know I keep going on about it, but let's go ahead and take a look at the doll herself. And we're gonna get my first facial reaction as I look at my Barbie. Okay.
She's beyond.
She's not that bad. Actually, she's really not that bad. I see her hair and I think to myself, that's hair. It's not necessarily a bubble cut's hair, but it definitely is hair. But again, we're gonna do right by this doll.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
You're a dreamer. You dream a lot in your sleep.
No, not really. I know.
Yes, you do.
No, I
yes,
don't.
you do.
She's actually really pretty in the face. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this Barbie doll. So here the doll is in her box. We'll just give a little 360. There we go. So we'll just remove that, and then we'll just take a closer look at this doll. She's not ugly by any means. She's actually quite pretty in the costume, because I did feel it a little bit. It does actually feel pretty authentic to me. There's her painting. Very nice. So let's go ahead and get this Barbie off of the cardboard liner. So here she is straight out of the box. Let's go and give her 360 so you can see just how she looks. She comes with this typical Barbie reproduction stand, which has always been a staple in Barbie reproductions. We also have her certificate of authenticity that's on this really nice kind of papery, almost near acrylic material. Like, it's pretty cool. I like that, you know. It's better than them putting it on printer paper, which is what they usually do nowadays.
I couldn't even keep track of all the tears.
We have instructions for how you will find your Silkstone Barbie, also how to clean her, which we won't be needing. We also have the reproduction art gallery pamphlet right there, which says 2024 Mattel. We have her painting, very pretty. Very accurate feeling frame. I'm sure this is exactly how it was made. I've never owned this piece, so I'm not really too sure about that. Oops. And then we have the doll herself. So we'll take her off the stand and we'll just take a closer look at her. So we've got a Barbie wrist tag. Her nails are painted the same color as her lips, which is like a watermelony salmon pink. She has acrylic, I want to say these are just acrylic. Yeah, they're just acrylic earrings. So they're not going to give your Barbie green ear. Let's take her hairnet off. I know this is like where everybody's having the problems. Okay. We'll put her earring back in. There we go. All right. So the hair right out of the hairnet's really not that bad. I can tell, like, if you're fidgeting with it, if you mess around with it, it's gonna get big really, really quickly. This hair is not authentic bubble cut kind of saran. The saran that they were using back in the day in the early 60s and mid 60s was a lot different than what it is today. It curls really, really well. This hair is really soft, and the bubble cut hair at that time was not known for being this soft, but I will show you how to restyle it and make it look better. I'll also show you maybe some of your mistakes for how your doll's hair looks a little bit more crazy like. So if we look at the outfit's really nice. It is a green organza, I'll call that like a Kelly green, over top of a cotton fabric. You can see the real color underneath. And you can see right there how it's sewn together. Got a serged edge. She's wearing like the plastic, almost kind of like sheath dress underneath, which would be cool if you use that for a pattern, all of you creative people out there. And then we'll go down to her shoes. And these shoes are authentic of the time. I'm not too sure if this outfit also came with the other spiked heels as well. I love these shoes. These probably are my favorite of the Barbie heels. And their material, like it's kind of feeling authentic, but not really. It's still a little bit squishy like a regular Barbie shoe would be today. And it does look like she does have her pedicure. Something I noticed, my Barbie was really sticky, but it was sticky in the arms, and that's because they put like double-sided tape on her arms to keep the collar down, which I hate that. But if you get some rubbing alcohol and you put it on a Q-tip, you could get that stuff to come off relatively quickly. On the back, it looks like her bow is sewn with some thread. Just snip that right off. I'm just bound and determined to get this dress off.
That's what she said.
So the original garment has a metal zipper in the back. I don't know why they didn't reproduce one and put it in the back. I don't know why we have to have snaps. It's probably because it's easier to distinguish the two against each other, but it's also probably due to cost-cutting measures. Underneath, she has this protective, like plasticky guard to keep her from the dress and the dress staining on her, which is kind of ironic to me because like the underside of it is not green, it's cream, the same color as her skin tone, which her skin tone, by the way, is wrong. The Barbies weren't this pale. They were a little bit more peachy than this and a little bit more beige. This is a really good idea to keep as a pattern. You could take this all apart and turn it into a pattern, and you could make some really cute little looks with this, don't you think?
Are you talking about me?
I mean, look at this. It's the perfect pattern. You could see how much thread they use with each seam, which that will help you sew, how much seam allowance they give. It's great for a study, honestly. And you could take it apart again and make her a dress out of any fabric that you want with this pattern. It's perfect. Just saying, it's a good idea.
A witch.
Let's go ahead and look on the inside of this dress. It's sewn really, really well. We have a Barbie logo right there. We've got the black and white logo, which you can find in all of the vintage garments. This one, of course, saying repro. That way you're not duped into thinking it's the real deal from the 60s. But this is such a lovely dress. It does need to be pressed in the bow, but that is really it. It is gorgeous, I think. It would have been nice if they included a slip and maybe some underpants to go with this, because this doll was $80 and the dress is really nice on its own, but it would have been nice to see her come with a little bit more undergarments, I think. Let's go ahead and collect all of her accessories and put them back in her box. And let's get started on working on this Barbie doll's hair. The best job is going to be done by giving her a boil wash and a little bit of a wash to give her hair a little bit more of a curl. But say that you really don't want to do that, you could do finger curls. Like for instance, you could do something like this. Take the rat tail part of the comb and do something like that. And look, it looks a little bit better. Does it look great?
No.
We'll make it look great. Other than that, I mean, like you could do like a little bit of a finger wave too and it would look great. A mistake that some of you are doing is just doing this. That doesn't look right. Doesn't look very good. But if you were to take your comb and do something like this, looks a little bit better. Doesn't look great. You're not going to get this doll's hair looking authentic without going into using curlers and heat. Let's go ahead and look at an authentic Titian bubble from around this time to see exactly how the two measure up. Here, the reproduction bubble is next to an authentic bubble. As you can see, the Titian hair color is very different between the two, but back then they were using many different shades also for Titian. Sometimes Titian was a little bit more auburn, sometimes it was a little bit more gingery, and sometimes it was a little bit more like this. So you can't really use that against each other. Their faces obviously do tell the tale for me. And also so do their skin tones. This doll's skin tone is very similar to a lot of other Silkstones out there. They just really seem to have this more pale complexion compared to this doll who is more sun-kissed, so to speak, and gives off a little bit more of a beige olivey tone complexion. Now, the doll's faces, the doll's bodies are completely different molds. They're not the same authentic mold as what they used in the 1960s, and that's just simply because the dolls are not made the same as they were back in the 1960s. There's a lot of things that are different in the toy industry since then. There's a lot of things different in the toy industry today than what there was even 10 years ago. A lot of more rules, a lot of more regulations, and a lot more companies not wanting to get creative with their products.
Right, as always.
We can probably do a deep dive into the Barbie reproductions because they are interesting on their own, and I think that they're more or less the embodiment of Barbie of that time. They're not exact replicas of those dolls, but they are what those dolls represent to their time, if that makes any sense whatsoever. There's not one that I really like over the other. Like, if I had to choose, gun to my head, I would choose a vintage one because she has a little bit more of a sassy flair to her. But the reproduction, she doesn't look half bad, and I think she looks really pretty. This doll's hair and this doll's hair are on two different lands, right? And we're gonna have to work pretty hard to try to get this doll's hair to look a little bit more like this doll's hair. I just completely fluffed out this doll's hair, and does she not look like Fran Fine's mom from The Nanny? Hi! Before I start restyling this Barbie, I'm gonna start off by giving her a light wash, like a little bit of a bath. Like, she's got double-sided tape on her arm, and I do recommend doing this doll's hair wet. Okay, so now we've got Barbie all washed, and something that I'm kind of fearing, like, I'm feeling this hair a lot more than I was before, and I'm starting to think that this doll does not have saran. I think she's got nylon, a premium grade, but at least this doll, like, the way that her hair feels is just not the way that saran feels to me, but it could be tricking me.
The Hamburglar.
But I'm pretty sure that this doll has nylon hair, which for an $80 doll hurts my feelings. So I'm gonna begin by brushing out the doll's hair some more. And another reason why I feel like it's nylon is because this doll's hair is wet, but it does not appear it. Again, another telltale sign of nylon hair. And it's not that bad to have nylon hair, like, honestly, not the end of the world, but it's not what we've come to expect from Mattel, especially their collector dolls, but at least it's not poly. So there is that. What you're gonna need for this restyle is you're gonna need some pipe cleaners, you're gonna need some perm papers, and you're gonna need some curlers that you take off the little foam part of these little snap-on curlers. So what we're going to start off with first with the hair that's framing on the face. So this doll already has a pretty good guideline for curls, even though it's kind of a mess. I even feel like the part line should be lower. I feel like it should be right here and not right up there. I feel like the part line is a little bit off, but that's okay. It could just be my example. So I'm going to take this hair, gonna take a perm paper, wrap it under. And also, you guys, like, I know that you might not be the best at restyling hair. I get it, but at least try, because you might surprise yourself. You really might surprise yourself. Okay, and once you get it to the point that you like, fold over. And there you have your curl, okay? So now we're gonna go over here to the actual part line section of hair. Get as much as you can of this hair. And fold. And with this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this curler right here. And boom. So we're going to work on this hair first. We're going to leave this hair last. So I'm going to go over here and start to create some bangs. And you can kind of see in the rooting pattern where those bangs would be. They're right here. Grab the foamless roller, put it underneath. The bang will help it in the end. Trust me on this. Now, because I think it's nylon, the good news is that we don't have to wait so long for this hair to dry as what we would if it would be saran. I'm just trying to take anything I can from the thought of this being nylon. Again, like $80. Can't believe we paid $80 for a doll that has nylon hair, but I like to look at it as I paid $80 for the fashion, not the doll. The doll is just a happy surprise, and she's really pretty. And once we get everything done on her, I think she's going to be probably one of my favorite reproductions.
No.
Wow, that was emphatic.
Now, I have a few reproductions that I'd like to do reviews on. And if you are interested in seeing some reviews of Barbie reproductions, let me know down below, because I have some pretty nice ones to show you. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so we're just going to go around the head, and all the hair we are going to curl in a downward motion. It's going to be a little bit difficult. It's going to be a little bit trite, because there's a lot of hair here, and it's going to take a lot of patience. So be patient with yourself, and remember, it's just hair. And even if it were not to look so good, you can always change hair. Basically, for the lower parts of the hair, I'm going to use the pipe cleaner portion. For the other bits of the hair, I'm going to use the larger curlers for that. I just cannot believe that they used nylon on a Silkstone Barbie doll. curve. Beauty school dropout. Okay, so that hair is gonna look something like this. The back of the hair, I'm going to leave it as is. And when I get the boiling water, we're just gonna brush it down. That's what we're gonna do. Just to relax the hair. Because this hair just needs to relax. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some boiling water. So let's give her a cute little boil wash. Start right up here. Okay, and I'm just going to brush out the excess. Very hot. Yeah, this is nylon. I can tell just like how it's brushing out that this is nylon. It's not bad, but it is nylon. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take some diluted gel, which is just 90% water, 10% got to be glued. Shake it up and pour it right on to the curls itself. Okay, and now that that's done, I'm going to dry her off with a towel. And now that that's done, I'm just going to take the curlers out of her hair. All right, so the reason why I did it right here is because we are going to take it and brush it downwards. And a good thing to do is to take your finger, use that, brush it down. Okay, there we go. Just take it and brush it down. Boiling water will help relax the curls because it is nylon, and that usually helps. So now that we've got it pretty much saturated with boiling water, let's take our diluted gel and let's go to a more comfortable environment. So the hair already is looking pretty good, but I'm gonna go over here and just kind of finalize how I want it to look. With bubble cuts, there's usually like a swoosh that's happening right here where the hair just goes to the back. It's very difficult to get the hair just right on a bubble cut because they were always so unique. And each bubble cut had a different kind of hair rooting pattern. It was just completely at random, but they completely just knew how to style it. Okay. So. And you are just going to try to do your best with this hair. It is so hard, again, to reproduce vintage styles with new products because there was a rhyme and a reason for every design decision that they made at Mattel at the time. It was not all for an accident. It's just a lot of primping and prodding, but I think that she looks pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a cotton ball. I'm going to take my diluted gel. I'm just going to put it on the cotton ball and I'm going to go down. And just give it a nice little pat. And this will help with the hair's overall structure. And there we go. So here modern art Barbie is after her restyle. We do a little 360, be able to see the hair and what we're working with there. I think she looks so much better. She really does look closer to be what I feel like Bill Greening's original vision was for this doll. And even though I still believe that her part line should be just a little smidgen lower, and maybe perhaps she should have been done with saran, in my opinion, I still think she is a very nice reproduction because, again, I did buy her for the fashion. And although this fashion is missing the original detail of an included zipper, I do think that the metal snaps are better than plastic, you know, because sometimes they like to include those as well. But I am tickled pink or tickled green to be able to finally have this fashion in my collection. And the reproduction Barbie that's included really isn't half bad. I think if you look at it in this aspect, that Nylon is quicker to dry, it's quicker to hold curls, so you can use all of that to your advantage should you want to restyle your bubble cut Barbie. It, in a way, is going to be closer to the original kind of texture and style of the original Saran back from the 60s and the 50s. But you'll have to tell me exactly what you think of this reproduction. Is she one that you'll be including in your collection? Is she one that you already have in your collection? Have you already tried to restyle her hair? Or are you just gonna leave it as is? Let me know down below. I'm actually quite tickled with her now that she looks a little bit better than what she did in the box. Should I have to do that for an $80 doll? No, I don't think so. I think Mattel needs to do a better job at their execution, not even their quality control. I think it just all comes down to execution and making sure that those details that were designed in the original product are executed well into a reproduction product. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and let me know if you're going to use any of these tips and tricks on your own Silkstone modern art Barbie doll. I really hope this video was helpful for you in making your modern art Barbie look like it's something to be proud of. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. Bye-bye.
If you were a fashion model like Barbie, you'd lead a different life every day of the week. One day you're wearing a gown called Golden Evening and modeling with Barbie's new go-together furniture. Or you're the very model of a sparkling bright nurse's aide in a costume named Candy Striper Volunteer. Then one day the photographer sends you in mid to Paris, and there you are, wrapped in a glorious new coat, called It's Cold Outside. The next day, you and Midge are on your way, sightseeing, here and there and everywhere, while the photographer snaps your picture. And sometimes fashion sends you out of this world in a gown so romantic it absolutely floats. You can see all these exciting new costumes wherever toys are sold. You can tell they're Mattel.